Imagine being this delusional. We're back with our boy Xenoshot and some weird person.
This is not like racism, it is racism. Anti-fatness is rooted in anti-blackness.
Alright, so I'm starting to think that something might be in the water because recently I've been seeing some of the most delusional takes imaginable, and you already know that I'm talking about the fat activist community over on TikTok. I'm not sure if a contaminant has leaked into the water system or all the
Intentional weight loss is fat phobic. Yeah, the old connecting fat to race is so, I don't know where that bridge was ever drawn ever, actually. Like, how does that connection ever been made? I don't know, but we'll see.
the Big Macs recently, or maybe there's mass psychosis happening, but they're out of control. And as some of you may have already seen last week, we witnessed some of these TikTok degenerates where we learned that exercising is fat phobic. But today we have a fresh new take, and that is wanting to be skinny and in good shape is now racist. Now, without further ado, let's just get right into the video.
Yeah, me and Connor are the two biggest racists here. We go, Jim. Hella racist. I don't know about you, Jim. Filled with racism.
This is not like racism, it is racism. Anti-fatness is rooted in anti-blackness. And the reason why people are pursuing thinness is because they're pursuing proximity to whiteness. The reason why people are pursuing thinness is because they're pursuing proximity to whiteness.
Alright, so we're only 10 seconds in and we already have quite a bit to unpack here. I'm not sure how to even begin to respond to this person's logic, if you could even call it that. So apparently being skinny is now associated with white people, according to this girl, and whiteness in general. So using that logic, I would automatically assume that fatness is associated with black people. I mean, that's
Bruh, she's unironically racist. She just said every black person is basically fat and every white person is thin. Bruh.
Yeah, that's crazy, bro.
Bruh, that's crazy.
the only natural conclusion to come to. But my question is, since when does weight have anything to do with race at all? According to her, being thin is associated with health and white people, so aren't you just being racist to black people there? Calling all black people unhealthy and fat? There's just so many holes in this logic.
Yo, I kind of miss Fall Guys. You want to play sometime?
It was pretty fire background gameplay footage. I'm not gonna lie.
Not gonna lie, yeah.
Good
it's
old,
pretty...
good old topic commentary days.
It is good, yeah.
You'd think this was satire, but I assure you it's not. It really isn't. Using her logic, if I were to start downing a bunch of quarter pounders and begin expanding in size by the day and turn fat, that would technically be cultural appropriation. And an obese black person wanting to lose weight would also be cultural appropriation, according to her. This is fucking nuts. That's my final comment here.
Anti-blackness. And the reason why people are pursuing thinness is because they're pursuing proximity to whiteness. The reason why people hate fat people is because people hate black people, and being curvy or bigger is associated with blackness, especially black women. The reason why people hate fat people is because people hate black people.
Who actually hates fat people, though? I don't think I've ever...
Bro, nobody hates fat people, bro. Where did that even come from?
Some people do hate, but you shouldn't hate anyone for something like that.
Well, I mean, like, okay, obviously there's exceptions, obviously, but I think in general, nobody, like, hates them explicitly or something. It's more the people leading the fat phobia movement are kind of ridiculous.
Yeah, anyone who's saying that it's, like, healthy, that's where it gets questionable.
Yeah, and, you know, it's kind of hard to not be hateful towards a person comparing an issue such as weight loss to actual racism. That's pretty offensive if I had to chime in there, so I don't know.
Met a single person that hates someone for no other reason than their weight. I've never seen someone reach for straws as much as this person. On the other hand, I'd imagine most people would hate actually being fat, but not fat people themselves. I don't think you need to be a dietitian or study anatomy to understand that being overweight is objectively unhealthy and comes with a bunch of health risks. I mean, that's
that
why
a
most
Sonic
people
skin?
would rather not be a land whale on the brink of a heart attack. This isn't a race issue. This girl has been on the fat side of TikTok for so long, her brain is morphing into a baconator. She's just blabbering anything that'll get some likes and an ounce of attention, virtue signaling up the ass. She really just compared weight to actual racism. racism.
Curvier, bigger is associated with blackness, especially black women, and that's why they're discriminated in the workplace, overly sexualized, and this has gone back for centuries and centuries. All systems of oppression, capitalism, sexism, racism, it all comes back to white supremacy, which is the foundation of the fabric of America and rules every sector and aspect of our society.
It's really not that deep. Capitalism, sexism, racism, white supremacy, or people just don't want to croak prematurely and risk living with health conditions and be fat and sweaty. What the hell does this person do?
Bro said croak. Oh my god. But dude, I don't know like how little accountability do you have that instead of just doing the old gym, the old diet, the old, circus event there, you have to go online and connect it with any issue. Somehow fat loss is now related to white supremacy or something. Bruh.
Do with their time. She really thought this one out. And she also goes into this brief history stereotyping how black people have always been fat when weight has had absolutely nothing to do with race throughout all of history. It did have to do with the class and wealth of a person, but that's about it. And I mean, if you want to talk about capitalism, wouldn't that be pro-fatness in this case? Just look at the biggest and highest grossing restaurants in North America. Finding an anorexic person in one of these restaurants would be like finding a shiny Pokemon. An obese person, on the other hand, well, that's another story. These restaurants...
Wait, can I just go back to this? Bro, how many are there? I've never heard of any of these. Like, the only ones I know from here are McDonald's, KFC, Subway, and Domino's, I guess Burger King. Okay.
Yeah, I know most of them. I've only been to like a couple. I don't really like any of them. Dunkin' Donuts is okay. Coffee's okay. I actually do mess with Chipotle. It's pretty good. But I haven't been to most of them, and I don't eat at most of them. But yeah, I know.
It's insane, the fast food industry in America in particular. I think there's like, how far would you have to travel from right now to see a fast food place?
Like 4 minutes.
Wow, that's
yeah.
And
you could hit like 4 of these places in 4 minutes. By the way, not just one.
That's nuts. Yeah. No, I see why the obesity epidemic is there. Is that still the case, by the way? Are like 30% of Americans obese, or?
It's real bad. I don't think it's getting better too.
Oh boy, that's yeah. Is this like by a certain age? Is it like after 30, after 40 or something?
I'm not sure.
While these are delicious and awesome, it's kind of evil, man. You're just shoving poison down people's throats.
Tiny Pokemon. An obese person, on the other hand, well, that's another story. These restaurants are far from anti-fat. Anyways, I'm done. We do have another brilliant mind to listen to, though.
Generally speaking, there's 3 kind of big buckets of reasons why someone might engage in intentional weight loss. First is desirability, second, health, third, stigma. But at the end of the day, all of those are rooted in fatphobia in different ways, and I'll explain. First, desirability. That is kind of the most obvious when it comes to fat phobia. We currently live in a society that uplifts thinness, able-bodiedness, whiteness, cisness, and heterosexuality as the things that are most desirable. And so if you are wanting to lose weight in order to become more desirable, you are upholding a fatphobic beauty standard.
Or you just want to become more, you just want to look good and feel good about yourself and maybe attract a partner and become healthy at the same time, possibly. And it's not about a whole system and you're not contributing to racism somehow.
As well as, white supremacy and all that jazz.
Yet again, white supremacy is somehow brought into this. You really do learn something new every day. And today I've learned that I'm not only fat phobic for working out, but a white supremacist as well. Really. And when it comes to desirability, I think everyone has their own taste on what they desire and find attractive, even for themselves. Some might want to be skinny, some might want to be on the thicker side, and some are perfectly fine being fat. I mean, everyone has their own goals, and I don't see how wanting to be, in this case, skinnier automatically mean you hate fat people. Everyone has their own personal beauty taste, and I'm convinced every single person in the fat liberation community is skinny phobic.
So next is health. What we know is that weight is not a good indicator of someone's health, and also your health is not an indicator of your worth. You can have health and body related goals for your...
Isn't weight like a really good indicator of your health? Like for the most part?
Yeah. So second thing she said where it's not an indicator of your worth, that I can agree with. obviously. The first one, I'm just like source citation. I just it seems like every doctor disagrees. So to say that we know who's we, respectfully, who's we here?
Her
Who's
and her
we?
TikTok followers
Me and my
realized.
echo chamber believe this, so it's true. It's like, okay.
You know what I
Nice.
realized? TikTok solved a problem that Twitter was not able to do for years. So Twitter, people would put their stupid opinions, and then they'd kind of be anonymous, you know, the profile picture, you don't really know about them. But these are Twitter, but IRL. So TikTok gave them a platform and gave them an easy way to grow and reach their idiotic communities as well. This is just Twitter personified IRL, and this is exactly what they would look like behind the profile pictures. Just the same.
Yourself that are not about fat phobia and not about weight loss. So let me give you an example. You might decide that you have a goal of hiking a particular mountain in your area. Now, you would be engaging in different types of movement in order to achieve that goal. You may or may not lose weight in doing that. And in fact, there's lots of fat mountaineers and hikers.
Oh yeah, for sure. You know I heard the person who climbed Mount Everest. He was like the Nikocado avocado size, actually. I'm sure that's very useful in climbing a mountain, one of the most intense physical exercises of all time, with ridiculous endurance and stamina needed, and mental willpower and everything, and self-control, which definitely someone larger would have. What are you on about, honestly? My God.
There's really no escaping the fat-phobic label with this person. Even working out for the health and survival of your own body is fat-phobic now. And considering most people on TikTok are on the younger and more impressionable side, this is some dangerous content. This is the type of content that I have no doubt in my mind is gonna keep people fat and living unhealthy lifestyles. That's the thing now. Everyone needs to be coddled and feel accepted, but when do we draw the line?
Yeah, imagine this person's like your idol, right? You grow up watching them, like this is like your favorite content creator, and then you start implementing this stuff in your real life, and you're like, well, I'm not gonna work out.
Your life just goes off a cliff, yeah.
Yeah, that's why you need good role models, guys. Subscribe. Connor and Pegasus, best role models ever. Come on.
Bucket reason is that you might be facing extreme fat phobia and anti-fat bias in your own life, and you have personally mentally hit a wall where you can't deal with it anymore, and so you decide to intentionally lose weight. That is actually the case with Roxanne Gay, who is very tall. They are like 6 foot or 6'1", and prior to their weight loss surgery, they would have been categorized as a super fat. So being a super fat and being that tall comes with a particular type of physical.
I don't know. I think that's a nice way of saying obese, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Super fat makes it seem like you have a superpower instead of just being super ill. I don't know.
Accessibility challenge as well as anti-fatness, and so for that reason, Roxanne Gay elected to have weight loss surgery. But it's really important that if you still go through with intentional weight loss, that you don't sacrifice fat liberation politics, because otherwise it's still just fat phobia, even if you're doing it for your mental health and accessibility.
I'm fat phobic.
Wait,
this is my announcement. It's official, guys. With that said, everyone who's watching, do me a favor and stay away from TikTok like the plague.
All right, guys, stay healthy. Eat well, exercise. We'll catch you guys later.